Maybe taking note of how your body's feeling this morning. Now, noticing the initial sensations that jump out at you. Where do you feel any tightness, any pain? And also noticing the areas in your body that feel like there's a free flowing energy, where you feel strong, where it feels comfortable. And while observing all of these sensations, allowing your breath to come in and out of your nose. Just a gentle, steady breath, inhaling, expanding your abdomen, rib cage, and chest. And exhaling, feeling a subtle recoiling inward of the chest, rib cage, and abdomen. And as you breathe, noticing what it feels like to breathe. Do any other parts of your body get tense or more relaxed? Is the breath flowing smoothly? Is it staccato? What's happening with your breathing? And as you breathe, taking note that your spine feels tall. It feels like there's no blockages, if that makes any sense. You want to think of aligning the spine in neutral, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. And that's your central point there to focus, lifting the breath up with each in-breath, sending it up the spine. And as you exhale, sending the breath back down the spine. On the next in-breath, allow yourself to come into a gentle Ujjayi breath, very subtle, soft contraction of the back of the throat. And allowing the breath to come in and out. And if at any time you want to release Ujjayi, just trying to keep it soft, no vinyasa type Ujjayi. It's very gentle. Noticing any changes in the body, any changes in your thoughts. And over the course of about the next 2 breaths, beginning to think about creating some movement in the body. On the next in-breath, allow your arms to slowly rise up overhead, spiraling your triceps inward, connecting the palms and pinky. Stay there for a moment, plug your shoulders in, drawing them down the spine, and think of reaching your fingertips up toward the ceiling, keeping your chin in neutral, parallel to the earth. Then on the next exhale, drawing the belly in and bringing your hands in prayer at the center of your heart. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, slowly sweeping your arms up, spiraling your triceps inward, connecting the palms and the pinkies overhead, really slowly elongating the spine. And then exhaling, hands in prayer at center. 1 more time like this. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up, spiraling the triceps inward, connecting the palms and the pinkies overhead, lengthen. And then exhaling, hands in prayer at center. Let's gently release the hands onto the lap, blink the eyes open. Let's go ahead and switch the cross of the legs. So the opposite leg in front or on top, just giving the other hip a chance to open. Let your hands rest palms down on kind of the lower thighs near the knees here. And then we're going to turn the fingertips in so the elbows open out. I want you to sit up tall, drop the shoulders. Now we're going to exhale, go ahead and dip your left shoulder toward the right as you look over your right shoulder. This is a nice stretch for the lower back, into the side body. Keep thinking of every in-breath elongating, every out-breath trying to go a little deeper with that left shoulder, feeling a stretch in the back of the left shoulder there. I'm letting my low back round just slightly to give me a little more space to drop the shoulder. Just feel if that makes sense for you. 1 more breath, in-breath, elongate, exhale, see if you can dip that left shoulder a little more. Good, now we're going to inhale, return to center. And then exhaling over to the left. So we're just going to rotate to the left, dropping that right shoulder down. Just get a sense of one side versus the other. How did this side feel compared to the other? Once again, every in-breath, elongating the spine. Every out-breath, think of a little rotation and dip of that right shoulder, feeling where the stretch is here. One more breath, inhale. And exhaling, feeling that right shoulder dip. Good. Now we're going to inhale, return to neutral, and let your arms relax. And we're going to go ahead, exhale, rotating to the right, left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right arm is behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine, feeling the shoulders drop. Exhale, rotate. Remembering if you need to, taking that left hip with you into the twist. 2 more breaths. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate, feeling the outer thighs drop. 1 more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Good. Now on the next in-breath, let's return back to center. And then gently exhale, rotating to your left. Right hand to the outside of the left thigh, left arm is behind you. Again, you can take that right hip with you if you need to. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhaling, adding a gentle twist, looking over that left shoulder. And taking your time, feeling your breath, rise up with the in-breath and twist as you rotate with the out-breath. 1 more breath cycle. Good. On your next in-breath, slowly return the spine to center. As you exhale, let's go forward, bringing the fingertips down to the mat, keeping the wrists about shoulder width apart. Root your seat, feel like the tailbone draws back, then exhale, hinge forward and fold. Taking your time, letting your body go to the space that's appropriate for you. Keep rooting the seat, drawing the shoulders back, and think of sending your chest forward as your tailbone draws back, gently drawing the abdomen in with each exhalation. And start to feel what it feels like to bring your body into this forward flexion, trying to press the outer thighs down to create a little bit more space there. I'm feeling almost like the breath is moving like water through the spine. Let's do about 2 to 3 more breath cycles here, nice and slow. Relaxing your jaws and face. Good. Now if your fingertips aren't already on the earth, bring the fingertips to the earth. I'd like you to exhale, round the spine. Think of like an angry cat. Tilt the tailbone forward. Feel your mid-back round. Draw your shoulders back. Feel a gentle stretch in the mid-back. Draw the chin towards your chest. Feel the depth of the stretch. Keep rooting the seat. Then on the next in-breath, we're going to slowly stack the spine 1 vertebra at a time. Inhaling, letting the arms drag towards you as you slowly bring the spine back up to neutral. Let's take a little bit of a side bend. So we're going to take the right fingertips to the earth, slight diagonal back from the right hip. Draw your shoulder down. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Pause a moment there, maybe look up. Look up toward the ceiling. Plug your left shoulder in, feel the length to your left side. Root the left seat, then exhale up and over to your right. So thinking of squaring shoulders out, maybe the right rib cage rotates a little bit up toward the ceiling. Just being really gentle here. Reaching your fingertips toward the right wall, dropping the right shoulder down, and think of expanding your left rib cage out to the left. Let's do 2 more breath cycles here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Good. On the next in-breath, use your left obliques and right arm to help bring you up. And then let's exhale, left fingertips down. Think of a slight diagonal back of that left hip. Root the right seat. Inhale, lift the right arm up, look up, plug the right shoulder in. Keep the right seat rooted. Exhale, go up and over to your left. Keep connecting to your breath here. Think of stacking shoulders, rotating that left rib cage a little bit up toward the ceiling. Right fingertips reach toward that left wall. Fan your right rib cage out. Think of a nice big stretch here. Allow the breath to flow in and out. Keep dropping the left shoulder. Let's do 1 more breath cycle here. And on the next in-breath, using the right obliques and the left arm, and exhale, release your right arm. Let's go ahead and extend the legs out in like a split of sorts. So like a V split. So we're going to go ahead, extend our legs out, and it doesn't have to be the biggest split that you can take, just something that feels comfortable. And draw the flesh back in your buttocks. so that you can really root back. So we're going to sit up nice and tall, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. Let's flex our feet. And you should start feeling a gentle stretch in the hamstrings. With your fingertips to the mat, I'd like you to rotate your upper body to the right, exhaling. Again, that left hip in this circumstances can go ahead and come a little bit to the right. I want you to inhale, grow tall, look up, and exhale like a quarter of the way down. Think of elongating your spine, drawing your inner elbows in, and really rooting the left seat. Look at your right big toe. Next in breath, lift an inch, inhale, and then exhale, try to come down another couple of inches lower. Keep rooting the left seat. Maybe your arms walk forward a bit. Keep lengthening the spine, noticing the stretch in that right hamstring, noticing what's going on in the left side of the body, so specifically the hip, the rib cage. So the seated poses can sometimes be tougher than some of the standing poses and even some of the lunges, so being mindful of that. Your body may not get exhausted per se, but your back is going to be doing a lot of work. So you're going to be mindful of this. So let's try one more in breath, lifting an inch, draw the shoulders back and see if you can exhale, go a little bit lower. Breathing, maybe the arms go forward a little bit more. Feel how the stretch deepens along the left side of the body. Relax your jaws. Go ahead and inhale, slowly bring the spine up, staying to the right for a moment. And then we're going to exhale and just go right into the twist over to the left. And notice the difference. You might notice difference, right side, left side. Keep flexing your feet. Inhale, grow tall, lengthen. And exhale maybe a quarter of the way down. Shoulders are back, elbows are in. Focus on that right sits bone, really rooting down. And think of elongating your spine. Notice the stretch on the left side. So you may notice a difference. For me, when I was to the right, a little more tightness. Now inhale, lift an inch or so up, and then exhale, see if you can go another inch or two down, and maybe the arms walk a little more forward. Feel the stretch along the right side of the body and that right hip, right rib cage. Remember, you can take the right hip into this slight twist if you need to. Keep thinking of lengthening the spine, drawing the shoulders back, and really focus on the hamstring stretch and the lateral stretch. Let's do one more breath of inhaling, coming up an inch or so, and then exhaling, folding, seeing where your body goes here. Keep rooting the right seat, creating some length along the right side of the body. And try to think of both sits bones really rooting down. So it's going to be an apparent, right, sensation of that left seat rooting down. The right can sometimes start to float. We want to try to feel that rootedness in that right side. And now we'll slowly inhale, come back up to center. And then when we derotate, we'll come to center. Good. Now let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together. So kind of an unconventional kind of flow to this practice. So we're avoiding going right to the groin. We're going to take like a diamond shape. Draw your shoulders back, let the outer thighs drop, soles of the feet are together. So you can adjust your sits bones as you need to, hands to your shins. I'd like you to actively hold on to the shins and inhale, draw the tailbone back, lift the chest, almost a half up energy. Then exhale, hinge forward and fold. Keep lengthening through your spine. Maybe your hands come to your feet, draw the shoulders back and feel now the outer, the IT bands get a bit of a stretch here. So you want to keep rooting the sits bones down. We're working on the IT band stretch as well as a back stretch. And we want to pull the abdominals in to engage and support us without over tightening them. And maybe while you're in this forward flexion, just nodding your head gently no, seeing what happens in the neck. Relaxing your jaws. You may hear subtle sensation, feel subtle sensations, hear noises as you move your neck. Maybe you nod your head yes, trying to keep it small here, nothing too big. Notice how that distracts you from any tightness in the IT bands or back. Good, returning your head to neutral here. Then we'll slowly go ahead, inhale, bring the spine back up. And let's exhale, bring the heels toward the groin. You can assist your legs in. So getting as close as is comfortable for you, dropping the outer thighs and maybe catching the outer feet. Inhale, grow tall as you press your outer thighs down. Now we're only going to go a quarter of the way down. Exhale, fold. Just be there for a moment, maybe rock a little bit left and right. So trying to get into the upper inner thighs here, releasing some of that tension. And when you feel like you've evened out, kind of staying at center, what I want you to do is just shift a little bit of your weight to your right. Noticing how as you kind of transfer your weight over to the right, it's going to get into that upper inner thigh. And as you do that, hold on with your right hand to both feet, and then just a gentle little rotation to the left. Left hand on the inner thigh. This is going to inhibit you from going any farther in the twist. So just trying to feel a little stretch along the left side, just a little bit of activation on the right side. Draw your left shoulder back and maybe turning your head to look up and maybe slightly over the left shoulder. So a little bit of differentiation there from the, lumbar, thoracic spine and the cervical both going into the rotation. Good. 2 more breaths like this. Kind of think of this as a way to release your neck as well as getting into that right inner thigh. Good. Then we're going to slowly inhale, return to center, nice tall spine, both hands to the feet. Drop the outer thighs. Good. Then we're going to exhale, shift a little bit of the weight to the left. So get into that upper left inner thigh, keeping the right seat rooted. We're going to hold on to the feet with the left hand. Exhale, take a little twist, put your right hand on that mid right thigh to inhibit any additional rotation from the thoracic region. And then start looking over your right shoulder. So really focusing on the cervical spine here, rotating, feeling that left inner thigh get a little more stretch, kind of shifting our weight to that left as we gently rotate the neck to the right. Slow, deep, steady breaths. So the neck and shoulders can bear a lot of tension. It's really easy to kind of go through life that way. This is a nice way to get into that while also releasing, the diagonal line that connects to that right side. Good. Now we're going to inhale, return to neutral, both hands to the feet. On the next in breath, I'd like you to draw your elbows in, lift your chest and look up gently. Keep pressing the outer thighs down. Get a gentle stretch in the front of the neck. Maybe you open your mouth and let the lower jaw relax. That kind of creates a release of tension. Also goes a little deeper into the front of the neck. One more breath. Good. Now carefully inhale the cervical spine to neutral. Let's go ahead and exhale and come up to all fours. So taking your time to make the transition because those inner thighs are going to feel a release. So we're going to gently place the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And let's start with the tops of the feet to the mat. Spread your fingers out wide, spiral your triceps inward. So we're going to keep the lower body in tabletop neutral. I want you to keep your hands shoulder width apart, maybe spread them out just a smidge. You're going to exhale, bend your elbows out to the side and let your chest dip a bit. Let your buttocks draw back. You're going to feel a bit of a stretch in the wrist forearms. And I mean, if you can come down to your nose, that's fine, nose and forehead. I find that if I stay a little bit farther up, I'm actually strengthening my arms too, and I like the way that feels. And now you're going to inhale, straighten your arms. And then on the next exhale, let's do that again. Exhale, open the elbows out, shoulders are back. You're just going to lower, lower, lower. Come to the point where you feel stretch in the wrists and the arms, and the belly has to pull in to stabilize you. So there's a bit of work and stretch. Good. Slow inhale, come back up. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, elbows out, shoulders back. Find that sweet spot for you where you're getting stretch and strength. Maybe your arms start to shake a little bit. Keep pulling your belly in and up. Tops of the feet to the mat. Good. Then inhale, straighten the arms. Draw your shoulders back. Now we're going to inhale, draw the tailbone back, lift the chest, collarbones broaden, looking forward and slightly up in cow. Good. Now exhale, tuck your toes, hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine, rocking back slightly in cat, looking inward, feeling a stretch in the lower back. Then inhale, point the toes, lengthen the tailbone, unfurl the spine, shoulders back, chest forward, cow. Then exhale, tuck your toes, hollow out your belly, round your thoracic spine, rocking back slightly in cat. Do that one more time. Inhale, point the toes, lengthen the tailbone, unfurl the spine, shoulders back, chest forward, cow. And then exhaling, tucking your toes, hollowing out your belly, rounding your thoracic spine, rocking back slightly in cat. Now let's inhale, return to neutral spine. We're going to take a little bit of a side cat. So we're going to exhale, draw the right hip over to the right and look over your right shoulder to see your right hip. Draw your shoulders back. Maybe narrow your hands a little bit and feel a stretch along the left rib cage. Good. So the right obliques are engaging, left rib cage getting a stretch. Then inhale, return to center. Now exhale, take your left hip over to the left, look over the left shoulder, see the left hip. Feel the right rib cage muscles stretch your intercostals. Feel the left obliques engage. Let's do that again. Inhale, return to center. Then exhale, right hip to the right. Look over the right shoulder. See the right hip. Feel the left rib cage stretch. Inhale, return to center. Keep pressing away from gravity. Exhale, left hip to the left. Look over the left shoulder. See the left hip. Good. Inhale, return to center. One more time. Exhale, right hip over to the right. Look over the right shoulder. See the right hip. Inhale, return to center. Then exhale, take the left hip over to the left. Look over the left shoulder. See your left hip. Inhale, return to center. Now I want you to think of drawing circles. So we're going to keep our spine in neutral. We're going to exhale, tilt the tailbone down just a little bit. Maybe you look back at your legs. Then inhale, take your hips over to the right. Next in breath, tailbone back and up. And then exhale, hips to the left. So let's smooth it out. Tailbone down, right, tailbone up, left. Good. Down, right, up, left. Now I want you to play with your breath, whatever feels good. For me, I tend to like to drop the tailbone as I exhale. So I'll do tailbone down, right on an exhale, then tailbone up, left on an in breath. So just kind of circling your hips and pelvis around. Try to keep the upper body as quiet as you can here. Good. Let's do one more time in this direction, and you'll pause the next time your tailbone drops. Good. Now let's reverse it. So it might be a little less smooth. We're going to go left, tailbone up, right, exhale, tailbone down, and then go ahead and smooth it out as you're ready. So the brain can get caught in the pattern it was in before. So it might take a couple of tries before it smooths out. And then noticing any differences you feel one side from the other. So keep rotating. Just gently opening up the body, creating gentle movement. Good, let's do that one more time, and then you'll pause the next time your tailbone drops down. Good, now we're just gonna focus on the forward and back. So tailbone is down. Now inhale, just take the tailbone up and back. So it's like tipping the pelvis. Exhale, just the tailbone, belly pulls in, tailbone down. Inhale back, so it's much smaller than cat-cow. One more time. Exhale, tailbone down. Inhale, tailbone back. Lift your right hand up, shake out your right hand just in case it's getting tired. Good. Then right hand back down, and then the left, shake it out. Good, and then bring it down. Tricep spiral in. Let's exhale, downward facing dog. So go slow. Take your time here. We're not going to stay in down dog too super long right now because we have been on our hands a bit. So we're going to spread the fingers out. Tricep spiral in. Send your chest towards your thighs. Feet are ideally, I suppose, if there's an ideal situation in this pose, hip width and parallel. If you need a little wider or narrower, feel free. I just want you to feel like your feet are parallel. And when you look back, two parallel lines. You're sending your chest towards your thighs and you're feeling your spine lengthen. And let the movement, whatever your body compels you to do, let it be what it is. You can pedal your feet out. You can just do little side to side movements. Maybe the movement is very subtle. Maybe it's just the breath in the spine. Think of the shoulders drawing back, chest forward, yet the chest is drawn toward the shin. So think of that elongation of the spine. Actively push the mat away from you with the hands, drag the mat back with the feet. Let's do 2 more breaths. Good. Now, instead of going into like a vinyasa flow, what we're going to do is just walk the feet forward a couple of steps. So your ankles are directly underneath your hips. And I want you to keep your hands where they are. It's a little less energy in the hands than in down dog. Good. Now shift your weight back towards your heels and let your buttocks draw back a bit. So maybe the heels of the palms come up, maybe you're on your fingertips. Draw the shoulders back, keep sending the chest toward the thighs. And I want you to feel the kneecaps lift. So they engage, your quads grip, you're shifting your seat back, back, back. This kind of goes into that space just above the sacrum, just before the mid back. Good, you're gonna feel your quads work, buttocks get a bit more stretch. Now slowly transfer the weight forward, keep the heels down, go into the balls of the feet, maybe a little more weight in the fingertips. Maybe the shoulders go forward of the wrists here and even your chest goes forward of the wrists. Keep thinking like a flat back effect, nice. And then exhale, shift back all the way back once again. Engaging the quadriceps so the kneecaps feel like they lift, really stretch out. See if every time we shift, you can get a little more stretch. Then on the next in-breath, weight shifts more towards the balls of the feet. Even though the shoulders are going back, maybe they go forward of the wrists, lengthen your spine, keep pulling your belly in. Good. Now exhale last time like this. Shift the weight back, back, back. Engage the quadriceps to support you here. You may notice that you've gotten more space. And then inhale, shift forward, forward, forward. So I'm still thinking of lengthening my spine, keeping the buttocks back. Now we'll find a central point. Exhale. Hips directly over the ankles. Walk the hands closer to your feet, maybe on either side of your feet. Soften your knees. Exhale, chest toward the thighs. Take a moment here. Maybe hold on to your outer calves and shift your weight left and right. So I'm keeping the weight kind of out of, not really shifting the weight in my feet. I'm just taking my hips left and right. Kind of thinking of like a semicircle, like your butt's drawing like a semicircle. Let your head hang. And then when you feel like you've released tension, go ahead and come to center. Let your arms drop. Think of gorilla arms. Tops of the hands to the earth, fingertips face back. Let your head hang. And we're going to exhale, tilt the tailbone between the thighs. Think of rounding your upper back. Soften your knees. And slowly inhale, bring the spine up. Take your time. Stacking, stacking, stacking. So once you come up to the top, we're going to keep the feet hip width and parallel, toes in line with one another. Bring nice and tall. Draw your shoulders back. So let's go ahead and shift a little bit of the weight into the left foot. We're going to go ahead, start off with the right toes coming to the earth. You're opening your right hip out, right knee out to the right. Keep your hip points squared. So maybe the hands go to the hip points. So we're just going to do a gentle tree to start. Draw the shoulders back, pull the belly in. Once you've got that gentle tree, so the right heel is pressing into that left mid calf, shift a little more weight into that left foot. Now bring the right sole of the foot to the left calf. Keep tracking that right knee out to the right, yet the hip points are squared. If you have access to it, go ahead and lift your right foot up, bring it up into the upper inner thigh, just avoid your knee. Squaring your shoulders, squaring your hips. Find one point to gaze at in front of you. Let's just start the arms with hands in prayer for a moment. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. So feel the left inner thigh press into the right foot and feel the right foot actively press into the left inner thigh. So you're keeping your gaze straight ahead. Your chin is parallel to the mat. Now from here, extend your left arm at a diagonal out to the left. Plug your left shoulder in and then the right arm out at a diagonal. So you're creating a V shape. So right now we're still keeping the spine nice and straight. Feel the shoulders draw in, shoulder blades glide down the spine. Now see if you can inhale, lift your chest and take your gaze up toward the ceiling. Give it space. You're going to notice your body's stability changes. Those small stabilizer muscles have to kick in to keep us upright. My advice is keep the eyes up toward the ceiling, trained on one spot. May become a little more challenging to breathe. The option is always to straighten your spine. We're going to do 2 more breaths. Try to keep the breath calm. Keeping the arms in V, we're going to inhale, return the spine to neutral. Exhale, hands in prayer at the center of the heart. Press the palms actively together. The next exhalation, I'd like you to bring the right sole of the foot down, shift your weight over onto both feet, and let your arms relax on either side of the body, palms face forward into mountain pose. So now what we're trying to do is re-stabilize after that destabilizing pose. Front of the head rises up, belly is still in, soles of the feet root into the earth. Chest is expansive, 2 more breaths. So feel like a mountain, nothing can move you. Muscles are engaged, you're strong. Good. Now we're going to shift the weight over to that right foot. Bring the left toes to the earth, turning your left knee out, hips are squared, so maybe hands go to the hips. Really easy to lose that connection to the hip here in this pose. So your left heel is going to press into the right calf. You're going to find your center. Think of stacking shoulders over the hips. Once you feel stable there, it's left sole of the foot to the right calf. So you're avoiding the knee. Avoid your ankle, any joints you want to avoid. If it's available to you, bring that left leg up, catch your left ankle, press the left foot into the right inner thigh. Just for a moment, keep thinking of squaring the hips, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Then hands to prayer. Keep lengthening the spine, keep the chin parallel to the earth, find your focal point. Relax your jaws. So you feel the small stabilizer muscles doing their job. From each transition up into the harder version of the pose, we're going to add on a little bit more. It's right hand out at a diagonal in V, palm up, left hand up at a diagonal in V. Keep the spine long for right now. So we're noticing a few more stabilizer muscles kick in, a little more work there. Keep your belly in because that's a support. Now we're going to go ahead, inhale, lift the chest up toward the ceiling, take your gaze up. Plug the shoulders in, gliding them down the spine. And again, keeping the eyes on one point on the ceiling can be a little more challenging there because it all blurs. Keep breathing. The breathing is going to definitely change here. Stabilizers are going to do more work. That can create a little bit of stress and tension. So we're going to be mindful of that. 2 more breaths. As you're ready, inhale the spine to neutral. Find your focal point. Exhale, hands in prayer. Next, exhale, mountain pose. Let the arms hang on either side of the body, palms out, pull the belly in, feel the muscles from the soles of the feet up, engage. Give yourself a moment. Maybe the shoulders roll back, maybe the head shakes out a little bit. So since we have this kind of energy going, let's do a little bit of dancing eagle. So what you're going to do in dancing eagle, and I'm going to turn just so you can see it sideways, is you're going to take your arms forward, pull your belly in, bend your elbows. Let's start with our left arm over the right. You can do top of the hand to top of the hand, or go ahead and wind your palms around. Draw the shoulders back and down, lift your chest. In dancing eagle, you can take a little wider foundation, soften your knees. I want you to just move around. So you can go down, sideways, back up into a little spinal extension. I want you to use your intuition. What feels good for your body here? So we're trying to get into the shoulders. Moving with the breath. You can round into a bit of a cat, whatever feels good, play around. And we'll be doing dancing eagle on both sides, and they don't have to do the same thing. It's just paying attention to what your body needs. So one that I like is going into spinal extension and just setting my rib cages back and right. That opens up space too. So it's a nice one to practice. Moving around, keeping the knees slightly bent so the back is safe. Let's do this for another 3 more breaths. Do whatever feels good for you. Remember, let the movement pattern be healthy, healing. Then once you're ready, inhale, make your way back to center, standing upright. Exhale, release the arms, return to mountain pose for a moment. Breathing in through your nose, out through your nose. Just feel what dancing eagle did. Usually a little more heat in the body, more relaxation to the shoulders. Good. Let's do the other side. Inhale, arms come out in front of you. Exhale, bend your elbows. Right elbow over the left. You can do top of the hand to top of the hand or wrap around palm to palm. Now go ahead when you're ready, soften the knees and start to go into dancing eagle. You can do semicircles, whatever feels good. Pay attention. Some of us like a little more forward flexion. Sometimes it feels good to go into extension and go into little side twists. Releasing wherever your attention is, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, And not worrying about, oh, it has to be exactly like I did on the other side. It doesn't. Keep breathing. Try to keep the feet firmly rooted into the earth. Let's do 2 more breaths. Then when you're ready, returning to center. And then exhale, releasing the arms to mountain pose. Take a moment. Shake out your head if you need to. Notice how you're feeling now. Good. Now maybe bringing the feet back to hip width parallel, whatever feels comfortable for you. Inhaling, arms rise, palms touch, looking up. Exhale, soften the knees, hinge from the hips, swan diving forward, hands on either side of the feet. Good. Inhaling, spine halfway up, hands to shins. Lengthen the spine, soften the knees, pull the belly in and up. Take a moment here, nod your chin towards your chest, keeping your half up, Ardha Uttanasana. Then inhale, gaze forward, give your neck a little stretch. On the exhale, hinge and fold, hands to the mat. We're going to press the hands down to the earth and step back to a downward facing dog, sending the seat back and up. Chest toward the thighs, allowing the collarbones to broaden. So really root down, thumb, pointer, pinky fingers, inner and outer edges of the palms of the hands. Shoulders draw back toward the spine. Chest draws toward the shins. Your gaze is between the inner feet, and you're trying to hide the inner ankles behind the feet. Keep pushing the mat away from you with your hands and dragging the mat back with your feet. Let's do about 3 breaths here, sending your sits bones back and up toward the corner where the ceiling and the wall meet. Relax your jaws. Slow, deep, steady breaths. Good. Now from here, we're going to inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet and keep thinking down dog. Send the chest more and more toward the thighs. Maybe a little more challenging here. It's just going to feel different. So the balls of the feet are engaged, heels are lifted. Think of the hips really get deep. Pulling the belly in. 2 more breaths. Good. Now keeping the balls of the feet engaged, we're going to exhale, bring the knees down to the earth, knees underneath the hips. Now from here, tuck your toes, inhale, shift your weight back and come up onto your knees. Hands to your hips. So I find that putting the hands to the hips helps me keep myself a little more stable. The right foot, we're going to step it forward into like a little bit of a pseudo lunge. And then you're going to open your right knee out to the right, keeping your hips squared forward, and take your right hand to your right inner thigh. Left hand can come on up. I want you to think of lowering your right gluteal down so that right sits bone drops down. And you're going to exhale, take a little side bend to the right. Maybe you're resting your right forearm on your right inner thigh. Looking to the left. Think of lengthening the left side of the waist. So I find that in this pose, it helps to press the right hand into the right inner thigh, drawing the right knee back and squaring your hips by drawing your left hip back, your right hip forward a little bit. Good. Now inhale, stack your spine. Exhale, release the left arm down and take your hands to your hips. So step that right foot forward again, lining the right knee in line with the right hip. Now we're going to exhale, hinge from the hips, place the fingertips down to the earth on either side of that right foot. Go ahead and shimmy your right foot forward, flexing the right foot, lining your second toe up with your right hip point. Inhale, elongate the spine. Exhale, fold as your body allows. Arms can come forward. If you have blocks, you can always use fingers on blocks. Keep flexing your right foot, drawing the right hip back, left hip forward, and breathe. Avoid locking anything out. Let there be like a gentle flow of movement here. So remember, it's a lot of tension usually in our calves and hamstrings. You might notice your right foot shakes a little bit. Keep breathing. Think of sending your right big toe a little farther away from you. Now we're going to keep the foot action as is, but you're going to turn your toes a little bit to the right. So you're just rolling your right foot a little to the right. It's going to change which muscles go into the stretch. You're going to feel it a little bit more inner thigh, back of the right knee. Keep lengthening the spine. You can always walk your hands off your mat to the sides a little bit. Give you a little more release there. If you've moved the spine off center, let it come back to center, then let your toes turn a little bit to the left. It's going to go a little more external now. Outer hip, outer hamstring. Again, arms can go out wide on either side of the mat. You can take a little twist in either direction. You can move around, whatever feels good here, but I do want you to release a bit into that IT band, a bit into the outer hip, outer calf. Relax your jaws. Good, now we'll return the right toes to center. And this time we're going to exhale, shift the weight forward. So you're going to bring the right sole of the foot to the mat and let your left foot straighten out. Maybe you tuck the toes, lift up off the left knee, shimmy back a little bit. Let the top of the right foot draw down. Inhale, lift your chest, fingertips are still to the earth. You're inhibiting on purpose. You want to kind of get into that left hip flexor muscle, draw the right hip back and let yourself feel almost like, well, I could go higher if I didn't need to keep my fingertips to the earth. Just let yourself be there. Keep thinking of lifting your chest, lengthening your spine, chin parallel to the mat. Even weight in both sides. Feel that left hip flexor stretch. Now we'll slowly and safely bring the right forearm to the right thigh, left forearm to the left thigh. Think of lifting your spine up a little bit. I'm still allowing my back to arch a little and letting my chest go forward. Tends to feel good. If you want to go up a little higher, you can always walk your hands up a little higher, hands to the quad, and then open the elbows out and lift your chest. Kind of my body's enjoying staying a little lower today. Keep drawing right hip back, left hip forward, pull the belly in, create space, chin parallel to the earth. Feel how the mid-back muscles start to engage. So our erector spinae start to really do their job here to stabilize and keep us strong. Relaxing the jaws. Notice the movement, the subtle micro movements in the right foot. Let's do 2 more breaths. On the next exhale, left hand to the earth, right hand to the earth. Lengthen your spine, tuck your toes, lift up off the left knee, plant the palms, and let's go to downward facing dog. Feel the difference, right side, left side. Stretch it out. Lengthen through both sides of the waist, maybe pedal legs out, walking the dog a little bit. You are going to be asymmetrical here. Breathe. Keep sending your seat back and up, chest toward the thighs as you drop both heels. Evenly root into the thumb, pointer, and pinky fingers. And do the same sequence we did on the other side. We're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet for a bit. Feel the femurs really plug into the hip sockets. Really push the mat away from you with your hands. Pressing into the balls of the feet. Since the feet should be pretty warm, maybe thinking of the toes really spreading out. Really shift into the full width of the balls of the feet. About 2 more breaths here in this variation of downward dog. It's definitely going to get more into the arms. Good. Keeping the heels up, you're going to exhale, bring the knees down to the ground. So it's a brief tabletop. Then inhale, come up, walk your hands in towards you. Then you're going to sit up on those knees, toes are tucked. We're going to step the left foot forward, line your second toe up with your hip, knee tracks forward. You may notice difference left side, right side. Open on an exhale, the left knee out to the left, toes turn to the left. Left hand to the left inner thigh, and keep focusing on squaring your hips. You may notice a difference, right side, left side. Let the left sits bone draw down. So just going into the comfort or discomfort, whatever the side feels like. Then when you're ready, inhale, the right arm rises. We're going to lengthen the right side of the waist. Then exhale up and over to your left. You can rest your left forearm on your left inner thigh. Really focus on that lateral stretch. Looking up toward your right bicep. Notice the wobbliness, right? The little micro movements, micro stabilizations that go on. So those are small muscles we also want to train that we typically tend to forget about. Those are the guys that keep us in balance. Couple more breaths. Keep thinking of expanding through that right rib cage. Dropping the shoulders. Good. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, release the right arm, feel that length. And as you're ready, bring your left foot forward, left knee at center. Inhale, grow tall. Good. From here, we're going to exhale carefully. Take the hands down to the earth and then extend your left foot forward, flexing your left foot. Think of that second toe lining up with that left hip point, left hip back, right hip forward. And go ahead and fold forward as is appropriate for you. Definitely going to notice difference right side, left side. It's normal. If you need to walk your hands off the mat side to side, feel free. It's going to be present here. Keep thinking of the left femur plugging into the hip socket. Relax your jaws. Again, you may notice a little shakiness in that left foot as the muscles are stretching. Good. Now from here, we're going to let the left foot turn a little bit to the left, toes aim to the left. Remember, you can go into a little twist to the left or to the right, whatever feels good, kind of like we did in Dancing Eagle. Just pay attention to what your body needs. Arms can walk a little wider off the mat, feeling where the stretch goes here. It's going to get into the back of that right knee, left knee, come up into the back, into the inner thigh a bit. Keep drawing that left buttock back, right buttock back. Good. Now we'll inhale, bring the left toes to center, keep lengthening the spine, then exhale a little bit to the right with those toes. And go more into the IT band, external left hip. Good. Keep lengthening through your spine. Inhale, exhale. Now inhale, let those toes come back to center. As we exhale, we're going to bring the left sole of the foot to the earth and shift the weight forward. So you can come off that right knee, shimmy your right leg back, bring the right quad down, go ahead and point your toes. Let your hands stay down and focus on elongating the spine, pulling the abdominals in and really getting into that right hip flexor, the muscle there at the front of the leg, hip. Keep breathing. And if your mind goes, I know it can go higher. Yeah. Let the spine feel like it could lift up higher. Keep yourself rooted for a bit. Evenly distribute the weight on both sides. Another moment or two here. Keep drawing the left hip back, right hip forward. When you're ready, left forearm to the left thigh, right forearm to the left thigh. Breathe. Again, you can think of puffing your chest out almost like a spinal extension, or you can go ahead and bring your hands to the quads, elbows open out, the left quad rather, and think of elongating the spine, whatever works for you. Keep sending the hips and pelvis forward, left hip back, right hip forward. Even weight in both legs. We'll feel a little bit of a stretch along the right inner thigh usually in this side, on this side. Let's do a few more breaths. Good. Now we're going to carefully bring the right fingertips down as we exhale, left fingertips down. Tuck the right toes, lift up off the right knee, and exhale back to a downward facing dog. Sending the seat back and up, chest toward the thighs, collarbones broaden, connect to your breath. Push the mat away from you with your hands, drag the mat back with your feet, breathe. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more breaths like that. Remember, you can always exhale out your mouth. Good. Let's go ahead. Inhale, lift up onto the balls of the feet, and then exhale, bring the knees down to the earth. Let's separate the knees about mat width apart, big toes touch, pull the belly in, and let's exhale, shift back to a child's pose, bringing the buttocks toward or to the heels and bringing your forehead toward or to the mat. Arms can be forward, back, whatever feels good for you. You can keep your elbows underneath your shoulders. Focus on lengthening your spine. So from the cervical all the way down to the lumbar. Inhale and exhale. Relaxing your jaws, relaxing any tension that you may be experiencing in your body. Letting your body get heavier and heavier with each exhalation. Letting go of the Ujjayi breath, thinking instead of that slow, steady, relaxed breath we took at the beginning of class. Spending some time feeling what's going on in the body. What's happening? Where's your mind? Good. On the next in breath, let's walk the wrists underneath the shoulders. Shoulders are back, elbows are in. Inhale, come up to a seat in hero's pose. Inner thighs connected, hands can go to the quads. Take a moment to close your eyes, draw the shoulders back. Feel the seat on your heels, gentle stretch of the shins, gentle stretch of the tops of the feet. Let's inhale the palms together in prayer. On an exhale, take a gentle twist to your left, keeping the hips squared. If you need to take the right hip into slight twist, please feel free to do so. Gently press the left palm into the right, right palm into the left. Good, now inhale, return to center. Then let's exhale, rotate the upper body to the right, noticing if there is a difference in the rotation. If you need to, gently take the left hip a little bit into the twist. Inhale, grow tall, press the right palm into the left palm into the right. Just creating a little tractioning with that action. Then inhale, return to center. Bow the chin towards your chest on an exhalation. Let's take a moment to practice gratitude, grateful for someone and something today. Grateful for you as ever. Thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the class. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Namaste.